going on? It's another episode of Hel Talk. We got myself, Miguel, and Maverick with us. We're gonna, I guess, talk about the last few weeks of states, as well as maybe touch on the Champion Clicks Open IC regionals that are coming up. So I don't know if which weekend we want to start on. Do we want to start on the event that just happened, or do we want to go back a week and talk about Wisconsin?
Oh fuck! I don't want the Wisconsin, bro. That shit was awful for me. God damn.
We could just well, we're inevitably going to talk about both of them, right? So
I mean, I could tell you what I gained from it. I could tell you that. I mean, that's as far as that goes. But as far as like my record was fucking trash. I was like, man, that fucking sucked. Well, that sucks.
Well, let's hit what's fresh in everyone's head is Chicago, like right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess. All right, Maverick, lead with it.
I'm trying to find the event.
He's trying to find the fucking. Oh, dude, you're trying to find like some Q&A.
I had to search for like Dice Dojo because it's not under Chicago or whatever.
If you're looking for the state, you just type the state name in HC units and it'll come up.
He can't spell Illinois.
No, I was just thinking of Chicago because that's where it is. I was like, I don't know. Anyways,
Chicago's a state.
I didn't say it was a state, Miguel. I ain't like fucking full retard. Like I'm only half mentally handicapped. All right. So you played Beetlejuice, Miguel, again, separate from the event, in Indiana. So, what did you change about your team, and explain the matchups?
Oh, dude, you can't want to remember the matchups.
You just played today.
So the only thing, okay, so I think we're discussing back and forth about the 20 defend juice, right? So the significant change for that team, I swapped out. Actually, they took off the defend, the Hal Blue Lantern, Hal Jordan, and I put into the Care Panther, which helped a little bit for SLB, and it actually only made a somewhat of a difference against Logan. Taking out the Thanos and Beetlejuice because we saw what happened in Indiana, where what kills another Beetlejuice is another Beetlejuice, and we took out the Thanos. So that was the two sideline slots. It actually kind of made a little bit of a difference, but not as crazy. Surprisingly enough, White Tiger Prime is actually pretty good in that team. She had the avatar of Atum, and there was times where, like, if I didn't bring out the tiger, I would have a 14 attack with like 2 empower, so it was like 14 with 6 damage, penetrating damage. So I guess that was like the equivalent of a Thanos, but not as impactful. But I mean, 14 for 6 was pretty dang good. As far as matchups, the first matchup, I thought I was doing good. I couldn't hit a freaking mimic. I swear to God, this mimic. And I'm telling you, right off the bat, that was my first turn. I was like, let's check out this mimic, right? And this dude rolled shape change 3 times. No, it's 5 times in a row. The first time it was the first 3 of my first turn. And I was like, dude, I can't even hit this thing. I'm like, what's going on? Then my dice went cold. I couldn't roll anything higher than a 3 when it mattered. And that's pretty much how it kind of went downhill from there. Nothing really to say about that. Second game was against, they were playing Old King Thor. Unfortunately for that, they misplayed like the one shot, the Heimdall sight. He forgot to flip it on the beginning of the turn. That's what people forget. Some one shots have a beginning of the turn where you're supposed to do it, and so he couldn't do that ultimate pulse wave, the one that you roll D6 for. But I won that game at 300 to 10 points. The second game was kind of BS because it was a 10 pull. It was against that new Sentinel, the Sentinel Beast. And man, I really wish I had the 20 defend juice. I swear to God, dude, it would have helped out. But I needed one more turn, and I killed the Sentinel Beast. But I don't get. And this is I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But like, play a 10 pull, right? You shouldn't be taking that long to make a decision, right? I can't be the only one thinking that. But
I mean,
so,
well, let's look at Beast Sentinel real fast. Like
I mean,
he doesn't make any decisions.
That's why I'm just like whatever. But I think I killed so much of the time, and I wish I had an extra turn because I would have won that game. Because dude, I'm telling you, that Sentinel Beast when it called last action was on its last click. I just needed one more turn, dude. One more turn. That was it. And that's how that went. And then I guess the last game was against Logan, which it was mostly friendly at the end of the day. So we just kind of played back and forth. And then yeah, that's really not too much. I mean, the only really like I think Logan learned that, and I agree with him. I think the Prime Sinestro is not the play on that team. I think he's got the right concept. I think you still play the two Colossal Sinestros, but I don't think Prime Sinestro is the play. He doesn't. I don't feel he does enough for his team, and to justify that Prime Sinestro. I'm not big on it. But I think this for him I think this was good because then that's like the next event he goes to, he can make adjustments and see, okay, try some different things out. But I think this was probably the better thing for him anyway. So that's how kind of my states went for Chicago. I'll let it up to you guys to go from there.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
To be clear, well, the team that Logan was using had Spirit of Vengeance on it, and as you mentioned, maybe gives him tips or pointers on how to change that team in the future. But I would argue that in the future you don't play Spirit of Vengeance. Well, if you did play Spirit of Vengeance, you would have to not rely on one shots in order to self damage Spirit of Vengeance and bring out
Well,
pilots.
he had the snake pit, but I don't. Well, the thing is, because this is what I told you before, right? So the Chair Panther actually made a little bit of a difference. So I didn't just get instantly destroyed by a Thanos and a Beetlejuice. I could actually do stuff. But he had the snake pit, so snake pit was self damaging, right? He picked it up, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think he found the problem. I think it is the Prime Sinestro. I don't know. I agree with him. I don't think Prime Sinestro is where it's at. But I don't know. That's just me. Cool figure though, but not for that team.
And then we roll the clock back to when we were playing some Silver Age. You guys want to talk about the teams that you decided to use for Silver Age in Wisconsin?
Yeah, again.
Why the fuck is it always me? All right. I put the same thing this year. Made a couple changes. Nothing too crazy. And overall, right? This team only gets better if you're playing the Legacy Dormammu.
Okay, so
And,
I want to just take a step back. I want to take a step back and say you didn't explain your team to someone who has never seen your team before. I know we know what your team is, but when you say I played the
Oh
same
my!
thing as last time,
If
nobody
you
knows what
want,
that means.
I could tell exactly, but like, yeah.
I fucking look at that team. Oh my god! Yeah, I guess
If
so.
you, I have it pulled up. If you want me to read it off?
Nah, it doesn't take that long because I'm at the bottom anyway. Let's see. It doesn't really take, like I said, don't take that long. So the team I played was Thanos from what is it? I think that was the Black Panther set with all the gems or whatever. I played Mern from the iconic set with Flying Carpet, Legacy Cosmo, Prime Q, and then Scott Porter for the restricted character. Support character, the one that heals, the Black Shirt Porter, and then the Phoenix Fog. I was playing the sideline, Fortify, Fall Mutant, Resolve of the Green, Black Vulcan, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Mimic, Scrappy Doo. The maps are really just the small maps. Rivals Respawn, Majors Bunker, the Daily Bugle. Terrain markers with Dumpster Fire head and upper body. It's a little bit different, but I mean, the only difference, I guess, I didn't have Cosmo, and I dropped the Watcher, and then I dropped the well, you couldn't play the Butterfly. The Butterfly actually made a huge factor, but yeah, I couldn't play the Butterfly, so. And you get the one shots too, so that's pretty much it.
Any matchups you had on that day that stood out, or any teams that you faced that were, I don't know, interesting enough that you still remember them?
So like the draw, what I got from that event, Thanos can't beat a Phoenix Wolverine, not by himself. It's one of those things where, um, not rolling the tens or better hurts the team. It doesn't do what the team wants to do. And most of the time, if I went into a like initially, if I hit right, I got greedy into re-rolling or propping the attack into a crit miss or a miss. So this team doesn't, against a Phoenix Wolverine, it cannot beat because of the stop clicks and the free heal. It's just damn near impossible to put them down. I'm sure because I thought about it multiple times. Like if I was to roll the 3 dice, right? If that was even possible, if Strange House was legal, I honestly think I KO that Phoenix Wolverine in one turn, because there might be a way where there, and it's based on luck. At the end of the day, it's just what you roll, right? Because I was thinking about it where, the power gem, right? If I resolve my, like I said, this is just based on luck. If I resolve the mind gem, well, the gem's like 10 times, like I think 12 times, right, on my turn, which is killing the clock. But and this is just resolving the gems, whatever the case may be. And if I turn off with Cosmo the invincible, then power gem just pings you for 1 damage and KOs you that way. Assuming I keep rolling tens or better, and that's what best case scenario, right? But yeah, that I think that's the hardest matchup. It's like if it's a 10-pole team, it's very difficult for Thanos to do something. Against other pieces, also the one shots, that's also played a huge factor. I can't just shoot someone for 7 damage and get fortified. So that was the other thing. Maybe going on theme might be the way to do it, but I don't know. That's something I would have to try out in the future. But that's what I realized is the one shots and the a 10-pole beats this team horrendously, and obviously Black Leopard. But I think I have a plan for Black Leopard. But I think once Strange Tales becomes legal, that I think this team does a little bit better. But that's what I got from Wisconsin. So it's probably not much, but there you go.
Maverick, we well, I guess the two of us, we were convinced to go to Wisconsin to play Silver Age by Miguel.
I didn't say forced, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
I don't
what?
force anybody. You guys had a choice, and I told you if you didn't go,
I had a gun in my head, bro. Like,
you guys were all crying and saying, "No, I don't want to do it." And I swear to God, it took fucking it took I don't know how long to convince you, especially Maverick, because Maverick was crying the whole time. The whole time, Maverick, I tried to convince both of you guys, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" But yeah, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt, but that's just go for it.
well, let's go to Matt, which is the next one up in rankings for the event.
Oh no, I mean I was pleasantly just surprised with Silver, just as the event as a whole. I the I don't know. I think that Silver Age can be, after seeing a couple of the teams that were being used. There's um I feel like pockets of Silver Age teams that are incredibly strong. I mean, Miguel touched on it in one point, just being like a tent poles kind of thing, like tent pole teams. I think in Silver, there's a couple of them which are incredibly strong. I do think that also the Black Leopard teams are incredibly strong, and I don't know. I do understand that like Logan's team did beat Rick's at the end, and Logan wasn't playing Black Leopard; he was just playing a bunch of attackers, and Rick was playing Black Leopard. But
Caveat, like a little asterisk on that. Like, there was a good chunk of mess ups on both parts, but I
yeah,
think the biggest mess up is the fact that Rick never rolled Professor X, and I think that completely changes the game for that. Like,
yeah, I understand that, and
but
we
I
already
think that
have evidence. Yeah, we already have the evidence that Rick's team can win because he beat Logan in Swiss. So
Mhm.
it's not like, well, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think as we were saying, it's just the the idea of just kind of a Black Leopard team and how it works right now, and it's the as opposed to every other character, virtually every other character or game element in Silver Age, Black Leopard only gets stronger as more sets are released. Because as power creep continues to come into the game, if you get more and more characters that have a printed 12 or maybe even a 13 attack, hitting a 17 defense not difficult. If everybody has a 10 or 11 attack, I mean, hitting a 17 is still easy, but it's not basically automatic. Whereas, if you say, "Oh, I have a 12 attack and I have a couple perplexes, and I have to hit it," oh well, just don't roll a critical miss, and you hit every time. You know what I mean? So I think that aspect of Black Leopard teams should put Black Leopard on the restricted list or something. I don't know, um, but I feel that again, there's few teams that get around it. One of it being, a couple tentpole teams could get around it, or you just have to play, even though they mistakes, the route that Logan went, which was just I'm going to do a different attacks, and yeah, I got to roll like 9s and 10s, but I mean one of them's going to hit, right? And eventually, when one of them hits, then then you can start making it easier to get follow up hits and whatnot. But it's just so it's so frustrating. I mean, there was a game. Chef, who was also playing a Black Leopard team, was playing a game next to me in one of the rounds, and I believe he was going second because his opponent was trying to alpha strike him, and Chef was just trying to explain to the guy like you can't hit me this turn. There is no way you can physically make an attack against me because all of my characters are in water and they all have the dolphin symbol, and I've flipped halt mutant, so you can't get within 4. It's like it was just like you can't attack any of my characters no matter what you do, or whatever. So it was just uh while it's kind of funny in a way to be like, oh haha, like you can only pass turn basically or move a little bit or whatever you want. But if you're the opponent trying to go against it, like, really, this turn I can't do anything? Like, that's boring. Like, it's like I spent all this time trying to think about what I can do, and at the end of the day, the conclusion is nothing. You can't. You just pass. And so yeah, it's So when you have a team like that, like the Black Leopard team, that can make traditional kind of here's a standard good Silver Age team. You're like, actually, no, that team doesn't do any damage at all against this Black Leopard team. You're like, oh, okay, well that's unfortunate, and then you're like, oh well, what about these like other tent poles then? You're like, actually, no, the tent pole teams beat you in one turn sometimes. And you're like, what? Okay. So I don't know, but like I said, I was uh, surprised at the results that my team was not expecting Phoenix Thor to do well by any means. My honest expectations were probably 3, and is uh, I felt that just teams would just swarm me, and regardless of if I had a 23 defense, I didn't think that it would be enough. But the only people I lost to were the ones that were playing Black Leopard. So everybody else that either did or didn't have an answer for Phoenix Thor was able to manage. So it was not a bad day overall, but it makes me think that if people are like taking Silver Age events seriously and they start looking at the teams that are winning the states events that are silver, then I really think they should look at Wisconsin closely, because a couple of those teams are, even though I noticed that they're not being played in other states that are running silver, but
yeah,
I
the
think
last one that I looked at was like, I think like, what was it? Not Missouri. What was the states that was silver that just concluded?
I'm not sure. I don't really.
Like, I was looking at the teams, and it was like a spy team that won it.
I don't know. Was that another Madrox?
No, it was a Captain Carter Prime team with it was I shouldn't say it was a spy team. It was a shield team that essentially almost everyone has soldier keyword, so they were using the Captain America, so the entire team had like +2 defense from the X-Men 97 Cap.
Oh yeah,
But
but
like
again, you're like, oh, great team, right? But you're like, oh, but it loses to Black Leopard.
yeah. Well, you
Oh.
can't exactly just say loses the Black Leopard. It loses the Black Leopard water. Is the better way to say it, is
Yeah,
Black
Yeah,
Leopard
I mean
dolphin.
that is, but that is the way you'd play Black Leopard. You wouldn't
Yeah,
like
but I'm just saying it for like
that is. Yeah.
no knowledge of it.
No, because I mean, you're right, man. I think Black Leopard just gets better, but I think they're not really looking at the bigger picture. So it's almost like, in a way, right? And it's kind of funny that I say it this way. It's kind of funny that it was actually good that Logan won, because they're probably not looking at, they're probably not looking at Black Leopard that much, to be honest with you. I think if so, here's the thing, right? If either they put the Aquaman on the restricted list with the team up card, or they put Black Leopard on the restricted list.
No, because even if they put Aquaman on restricted, it doesn't fix anything because you still have Ducky, Deadpool, and then other water characters that do the exact same thing.
No, Ducky Deadpool doesn't make you a
no,
dolphin, though.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the entire team. It's no.
No,
it's
Ducky
everyone
Deadpool
adjacent
doesn't.
to him.
No, Ducky Deadpool doesn't say you become a dolphin.
Yeah, he does. Am I going crazy? I swear he does. Yes,
Does he?
Wait, does
adjacent friendly characters have dolphin, Miguel. Yes.
which
Oh
one?
shit! Then it
Yeah,
has to be Black Leopard
it
then.
doesn't fix anything because he still
Oh,
exists.
that
And I think there's another character that just came out. Everyone dolphin symbol as well. I remember seeing it. I forget who it is, but there is another one that could do the
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same
it's
thing.
called Animal Man.
No, like it gives mass amount of characters. I'm gonna have to look that shit up.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
the thing about if you're looking at the Deadpool, then the thing about that Deadpool is like, oh, again, how do
It's
you,
adjacent. You put
yeah,
an elevation
right,
terrain,
exactly,
so
yeah, yeah, you can break adjacency, you can replace
yeah,
him,
that's
you know,
playable. Than fucking just saying, hey, you're in water terrain, you get the fish symbol, that's it, and you're not within adjacency. So that's my thing. I think it's either one of those two have to be on the restricted list.
yeah, and I think another critical part of the Black Leopard combo is the fact that you're giving him Mjolnir and to see through characters, because if Black Leopard can't see through characters, I think just that right off the bat, if Black Leopard can't see through characters, you can play around him. He's not insanely overpowered. I think that's the water thing is nice. It's like, oh yeah, you can't
It's
shoot him. That's
annoying.
nice.
You're on
Yeah,
the water
but
thing.
but the but it's the fact that yeah, he can, you know, like I said, the water thing makes you come up close, right? Which normally you wouldn't really care about, but you care about it now because he always sees you. If you come up close, he always sees you. So your stats always suck. But if you're like, oh, I have to come up close because you're in water terrain, but if I come up close, I can just move. I'll hypersonic around a different guy, and then you can't see me anymore. And he's like, if that was possible, then I don't think Black Leopard would really like that team doesn't work. It doesn't see play anymore. I think it hinges on Mjolnir.
Yeah, I mean there's some other characters that can make him like giant or other ways than that, but it would break the theme.
Yeah,
So
but the thing, but again, but being giant is in this case is worse. You can be giant, that's fine, but it's worse because
very
yeah,
slightly, yeah, but
yeah,
I mean, because
it's
even
not
like
not not, not very slightly. I mean, the fact is that the fact of that normally it's Black Leopard can see me, but I can't even attack Black Leopard because he's behind characters.
Oh,
You know, and
I don't remember when I played Chef. He didn't put him behind anyone. He put him right in the front, even with Mjolnir. So
Well,
you're playing
Chef's the boss,
Magneto.
man. That's how that goes.
You're playing You don't need line of fire with Magneto. You're what are you talking about?
I mean that's true, but like, still got to be within in 4.
Yeah, I guess that's what people were looking for. Like, got Emperor Doom because he turns off equipment, which
Yeah,
is
but
one thing people always forgot about.
Yeah, but still, he wouldn't even work because you have to see him.
Someone forgot, bro.
Well, you
That
have
was
to be you have to be within 4 squares, and you could see him because he shoots through. I thought he shoots through characters and hindering, but I could be wrong. I know
God
he
Emperor
shoots through
for hindering. Yeah, but yeah, because it just says choose an opposing character within range and line of fire, but you can't
You'll never
target him.
have line of fire to him. Yeah, and 9
Yeah.
range ain't good enough. Man, I should just
Yeah,
play the George Masu fucking
That
special, dude. Just
even
fucking
exist.
drop a leech. But yeah, that's why I think I like Legacy Dormammu a lot more because rolling 3 dice is better than 2. But yeah, we'll see. And after fucking states, when the state's over, is it this month or next month?
It continues throughout the month. I mean, you can look on HC units; they got all the different events up there, but yeah, but I don't know. There wasn't really. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of the other matchups that I had besides the Black Leopard ones that stood out.
And the Teen Titans troop.
So that team got the closest to going Phoenix Thor because the Prime Beast Boy has outsiders, so they were able to take away my positive modifiers, but they unfortunately still just like missed some attack when I had like 19 and 20 defense. They missed a couple of them, and if they hit them, they would have. So they effectively had like one turn to try to KO me. And then after that, it was, basically it was impossible for them to KO me because their the Beast Boy had Bloodstone. So I used Phoenix to KO Beast Boy just by shooting him. And then since he dropped the Bloodstone, then Phoenix could heal. And then or no, I think I like retaled on something and then I shot him. I don't know, whatever. I did the right order, but I used Phoenix to KO the Beast Boy to heal, and then that way I could just start using support from Kevin and then from Prime Absorbing Man when he came out to just support up Phoenix Thor. And I will say that my support roles on the day as a whole were a lot better than average. I feel like I rolled a 5 on regen a lot. I was healing for 3 clicks a lot with on that day, and so I don't want to say that it was just like super easy or whatever. It was just like I do feel like I was getting pretty lucky on that in that aspect. But no, but yeah, like I said, that team got pretty close to beating me.
How about Anthony Barnstable's Wakanda Hulkbuster double spot?
Yeah, that team was pretty good. He went first. He played it right, and he on his Alpha Strike, he knocked out. Well, he knocked out for the first time Kevin, and then he tried to that was with one of his attacks. Then he tried to do another. his last attack that he had, was against Phoenix, and he hit Phoenix, but I rolled Impervious successfully. So that was like, like now Phoenix is going to be able to retaliate. But with Kevin not on the map, I didn't have any probs or the Marvel reroll. So when I retaliated with Phoenix, I rolled a 3, didn't hit anybody. And then I was like, well, I'll just follow up with another attack because he had Jennifer Kale, which again would really hurt my Phoenix Thor. So like, I'll just try to punch Jennifer Kale because she dies in 3 clicks anyway. And then I roll a crit miss on that attack. So I was like, oh, great. I pretty much lose this game. So I was then forced to just walk up Phoenix Thor because I'm like, I can't do anything else. I just walked up Phoenix Thor. I brought back Kevin, and I was like, all right, just go for it, So he hit Phoenix Thor a couple times, and I think he probably also KO'd the I don't know, I don't know if he KO'd my Tri-Sentinel. I can't remember. I believe he did, but I can't remember the score off the top of my head. But then on the following turn, I got very, very lucky because I went right from a crit miss with Dark Phoenix to KOing herself to then with Phoenix Thor, I had to pick the choice of basically getting improved target everything and then making a range attack. And then with that range attack, I rolled a crit hit. So I was able to, in combination with that effect, I use that in combination with the effect of dealing 1 penetrating damage to everybody within 2 squares. So that took Jennifer Kale off her 17 ESD to just a 14 defense. So I was like, all right, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to hit, this 10 on a 14. But the crit hit allowed me to not only KO her, but KO 2 other of his support characters that I targeted with triple target. So after that, I was like, oh, okay, like I might come back in this game. And it was then after that, it was very similar to my first game where combinations of the Absorbing Man support and the Kevin support just keeping Phoenix Thor alive the whole game. But that was my biggest like roller coaster of a game. Like I went from getting very lucky by rolling the Impervious on the Alpha Strike to going, okay, great, I have a Dark Phoenix retail. Like here we go, games. And it was a retail in which he did not have a prob on it, but neither did I. But I was like, all right, well, this is it. Like if I hit that retail, he had I think he had like 3 bystanders in it, plus like 2 characters that would have been killed. And so basically, she would have healed 5 clicks until it would have been insane. It went from that to crit miss, and I going like, oh, I'm gonna lose this game, and then into crit hit, going, oh, I can still do it. So I was just all over the place with that game. But yeah, I'm surprised. Was he the only one that used Wakanda Hulkbuster that day?
I think he's the only one that's used kind of Hulkbuster in any sense of any Silver event.
Because I feel like that he was like the talk of the town for a while. Of like,
I haven't seen another Silver event where someone has played Wakanda Hulkbuster. So unless I missed one, I think he's the only one.
Yeah, I think so. I think Maverick's right. I think he's the only one that's ever played Wakanda Hulkbuster.
ruling the rat up like, oh, Silver, he's gonna be all over the place.
Man, whatever you just said, you sound like a robot.
Is that true, Maverick? Do I sound bad?
Now you're fine. Like it was like the first like 10
Yeah, you got
words that
hacked.
you said in the robot, and then all we heard was Silver Age.
Well, no, I was just saying. I think that even like Clickstuff was really hyping up the Wakanda Hulkbuster.
Really? With
I mean, I
Clicksoft?
think cool. It's a cool play. I mean, sure.
I know Daniel Powell. I remember him posting on Facebook. Oh, get ready! Silver Age is going to be dominated by Wakanda Hulkbuster. Get ready.
Has he been to a Silver Age event yet?
No, Daniel doesn't like it. He thinks that silver. He goes, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that I'm uh, paraphrasing him accurately by saying, he said like Silver Age is just the format where people just break the game. He goes, people find a team that breaks the game, but they don't tell anybody about it. They show up to an event, they whoop everybody by breaking the game, and then afterwards that team gets banned. and then people find the next broken team. And he goes, it's just people breaking the game over and over. And I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
I mean, well, the thing is, he's got the history to prove it. Which, yeah, when Silver Age first started, that's all it was. It was, oh, here's an infinite combo, and you're like, okay, let's ban this
that was
infinite.
day one was like the Green Lantern card. All right, I have 30 actions. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
That shit was ID cards shouldn't have existed on day one of Silver Age. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, ID cards made it really busted. I'm still trying to figure out why Maggot's still on the restricted list. Like, it makes no sense to be on the restricted list.
Someone is butthurt that they lost a maggot 30 times from free poison, and that's why he's still there.
I
makes
mean,
no sense. He's Highlander.
Yeah, exactly. It's everybody's unique. You can't play multiple. Why is he there? He's not even.
Like,
Like,
isn't someone butthurt that they
That's
lost
what
a
I don't
maggot?
get, right? Surfer came off the no, he's still on the restricted list, right? Surfer, or he came off. No, he came off, right? So
Yeah,
then
was
what?
banned.
So compared
He was banned, and
Surfer
he
to
came off.
Maggot, I'm like, I'd rather have the Surfer.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't know, man. There might be something there that we just don't know about yet.
You know what? Now that we're talking about Maggot, I'm just gonna pick one up.
Okay.
I mean, he's for $12. Ain't that bad.
He's $12 right now. That's
Well,
hilarious.
there's a posting for $12. I'm gonna buy it right now. Fuck you guys. Alright, cool. I just picked up a Maggot.
So Maverick, tell us, how was your return to competitive Hero Clicks?
Return of competitive.
That I didn't do anything to convince you otherwise.
Yeah, you did.
But
don't even. You
by
did.
fucking just messing like Maverick, come on, just go. And you're being a bitch.
Yeah, I think the thing that put me over the edge was when Steve said some shit.
Yeah, but dude, fucking trying to tell you that's what I kept telling you guys. I was just go. I said you might like it. And yeah, I'm kinda happy you both went. I influenced 2 people to go. I guess that's well, I didn't really influence. I just kind of told you should go.
Well, I guess going to my things, I played Magneto. With Scott Porter on Restricted, Remaker Zero. Played Mephisto, Ultra Chase, the Groot that makes Walking Woods, and the Dr. Leslie that everyone forgets about, and Proteus that generates 5 pieces of barrier. And then Soul Gem on Magneto, which, you know what? I never healed one time because I either never got hit or my opponent just wiped me in 1 second. So, going through my matchups and stuff, it was pretty simplistic team to play. I just make actions with the Walking Woods, make action with Proteus and Groot, and you're now -4 to your stats, and then cap of 3. But if someone was playing Scott Porter, it cancels out the Porter +1. If some people perplexed, cancels that. And then I move out to, I think it was like line. I want to say it was like line 9 or something like that, 7 or 9 on like big maps, and then it was like line like 4 on smaller ones. I want to say, or I didn't have to move out on smaller ones, but every game I played was on big maps basically. And then I'd barrier all around me as Proteus, and then the Walking Woods actions help with that with Proteus's barrier. Then Scott Porter makes a bunch of barrier with Zero Ring, and then Scott Porter and Magneto are protected. I then can double TK Magneto, and then Magneto missiles you twice, and then usually either half or most of the team is dead. So, yeah. I think Magneto is insanely good. But, again, Black Leopard, the only reason that I couldn't beat was because of the little Groot Pog from Disney Plus giving Guardians TA to all characters that are adjacent. And that basically lost me the game. Because I could put a barrier piece in front of Magneto and get off to the double TK, and then could do 2 missiles without Black Leopard seeing me. But the problem is the fact that the Groot Frog doesn't minus any of his values. So except for like the 3 people in the front, which I still got to roll like in, what was it? I think I hit the 3 people in front, but then he has Killmonger, and then Killmonger said that I don't hit as well. So that was basically it. That was my turn, and then it goes to his turn, and then I'm a 17 defense, and it doesn't take a lot of actions when Spot can do 4 attacks with no minuses to his stats from Magneto. So that's the only thing that really beat me. My first match was just kind of a wash. It was a double loss because I couldn't make any attacks with Spider-Ham. Because of Spider-Ham, I couldn't use any range. So I could only make close attacks. Which inevitably, if the game played out, I would have won. But time was called and I only had like 1 turn. So it wasn't really able to play. But I mean, I guess that's what I get for playing, 16 pieces of barrier. So yeah.
I do find it a little funny or ironic where, and I think this is true for any competitive event that any small group is going to go to together, which is that
we only lose to each other.
Yeah, well, it's like don't judge your team based on the direct performance it does against like one other team that somebody in your group is bringing. Like for example, like if I told myself, "Hey, I'm not gonna play Phoenix Thor because it loses to Black Leopard. It loses so hard to Black Leopard that it's virtually impossible for me to win. So therefore, I'm not gonna play it." And I'm like, okay, well, I was like, but still, it's like, what are the odds that, you're even going to go against the person, in your group, right? I mean, the best odds is that it's either you both do well or you both don't. And of course, and then it's like,
up
oh
there.
yeah, and then look at the schedule. That
Ronald McDonald has stolen his Wi-Fi.
What Miguel?
What?
I don't know.
I
Miguel
don't know.
out there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I,
no, I get what you're saying. We like literally don't. It doesn't matter if you lose to someone you know, because you're still gonna, win against the other, 15 scrubs at the event, out of like the 30. So
yeah, no, but again, my point was being like, even if your team's like, oh, like, I'm not gonna play this team because it does bad against, Mavericks team, for example. Like, oh, I'm not gonna use it. And you're like, all right, well, just still bring it because it's like you're probably not even gonna go against them anyway. And then lo and behold, it pretty much happened for everybody in the group. Like we all played against everybody,
our only losses were each other.
Yeah, that kind of fucking sucked, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, even like Logan, he was like, man, I got greedy, dude. I gotta stop being greedy. Like, if I hit, just leave it as it that I hit. But that's what happens when you get greedy. You get crit minutes and fucking roll threes. Fuck, dude. Oh well. Just play Juggernaut or fucking Punisher War Machine. That's probably what I should have done with Leech. And said, hey, you got no powers, and
Bro.
just hit you for 6. But then Black Leopard's a tie. I like Punisher War Machine.
I
It's
think
a good figure.
Leech ain't. I don't think Leech does enough right now.
I should just play the camo team. That's what I should. I should just win different and just play a different team. But I like Thanos because I dropped $200 out of Q Prime, so I want to at least get my money's worth.
Oh, I agree with you though. I think once the Dormammu comes out, especially since the 10 or better that you can more easily get from the first attack, that the bonus that you get of rolling 3 dice follows through to every other attack that you make that turn. So it works for, there's then you can use mind control, or then you can make an object, like a ranged terrain attack or whatever. It's like you still roll 3 dice for all of that stuff. So
Well, that's the thing, right? That's why I in all my matchups, right? I was thinking like, well, the Cosmo plays a huge factor in the sense that you can take off Invincible, and I thought about it, I'm like, man, is there a universe where if I just take off, power action Invincible and say, all right, cool, I don't give a fuck what this attack has to do, I just have to hit you, and it's just to trigger power gem, and that's how I kill the 10 pulse, because then that's like I don't have to worry about the reduced penetrating damage. All I have to do is just, and I know it's killing the clock. It's 12 turns of just me rolling dice until I get 10s or betters, and it is doable. Now the question I was coming up with what if you're in the middle of doing all your gems, right? And they call last action. How does that work?
You finish the action, so you do everything.
Yeah, so because that's what I'm saying. Like you have to resolve all that but it becomes an infinite loop, right?
I mean,
Like
it's
assuming that you're still rolling dice, assuming that you're still getting 10s or betters, does that just become an infinite loop and they can't? What happens there?
Well, I mean, doesn't
well,
Mind Gem end because you can't target the same person twice?
No, you could always mind. Why wouldn't you be able to mind control the same person twice?
I guess. I mean, then yeah, I guess so. You can infinite loop it if you just
Right?
keep making mind control attacks. Yeah.
That's why I didn't know how that would work, but it would be pretty interesting to see because then I just eat the clock, and it's like even against Black Leopard, I was like, I don't care if I need 10s or better. It's like that's what I have to hit anyway. And eventually, like I said, my attack's not going to kill you, but the gems will kill you eventually at that point. but I don't know. It's just something that came to mind.
Yeah, I think the only struggle point for Thanos is playing against temple teams.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the struggle. It's that and the one shots. That is huge. But I don't know. I'd have to leave it up to the Matt being the judge, and he could rule however that he wants to rule it. But or you know what? I'll ask Pat, dude. I'll ask Pat. I was running by Patrick Frazier. See what he thinks, and go from there. But oh well. I still think they need to rat out DJ Doom to take any equipment. I'm just saying.
Bro, get out of here.
Well,
You just
speaking
want the
of
character to be broken.
I just
speaking
want
of
to take the blood
errata,
zone.
let's let me ask you guys this. So having played, I think this would be pretty much for all of us our kind of our first big Silver Age event that I get more or less like took seriously, right? I mean, is that correct?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
So okay, so I haven't gone through that just that one event. If you have to uh, add another game element to the ban list and add another game element to the restricted list, what would they be and why?
To both lists.
Yes, you have to add something to both lists.
I would say Kevin should be on the restricted list. And the reason why it's he's too young. He fits on most teams, and he's a very very. It almost feels like the Scott Porter of it, where it's like, yes, you hit him one time, but he's off. But it takes like 3 turns, right? But in Silver Age, you don't have 3 turns to actually like if you're. It depends on like the matchup, right? But on average, you might not have 3 turns where you could physically KO this Kevin, and I feel like he's pointing at like 40 points a point or 50, right? Because your guy was going to give it an avatar. But I feel like he should be on the restricted list. I don't think he should be banned, but I think he should be on the restricted list. Now, as far as banning a figure, or banning a game element, I feel, and this is kind of like tough because I feel that I want to say Mjolnir needs. I think Mjolnir needs to get banned. I don't think it's Black Leopard. I think it's just physically Mjolnir needs to get banned. Be able to see your characters combined with Black Leopard makes the buff. A Black Leopard you could work around. I think that's doable, right? But I think Mjolnir is the problem with that team. Seeing that, but I think that's what I think. I think it's. I feel that Mjolnir should be banned, and I feel that Kevin should be on the restricted list. That is my opinion. It might not be good, but that's
I think Black Leopard should just go banned. Because even if without the water thing and and what he normally does, that is the way to play him, and he's insane that way. I still think that there's just another way you could break him. I just I feel like he's insanely good on Alpha Strike. I mean, you could just walk him, carry him over. Only like let's say like 80 points of your team, 70, 80 points of your team is spent to, put this guy on the other side of the map, and then you just go ahead and make 10 attacks, or, and stuff is just killed because, is what it is. And then he's also annoying to kill because, it's still a 10 on 17 or 19, and now you're like, well, all right, am I gonna go for this 50-point character, or am I gonna go for the other 50-point characters that actually can kill people on my team? And I think he's just strong in that way too. And I think it just should be banned. Like, You know, the water is just repulsive. The water teams are repulsive, but still, him just being out there is also repulsive in general.
Here's an idea that I was gonna ask. What do you feel like if they actually restricted one shots? Because I feel like that's way too fucking powerful. There's some that way too powerful and shit. But what do you feel about that? Like,
Restricted
what would you
one
guys
shot?
think if they restricted or said, hey, you're allowed one shot per team, but you can't like it's well, I guess it's the same thing for modern elements, but as far as
I
like
mean,
that
there's a lot of
restrict,
teams that just didn't play one shots.
it would be interesting to see something like that, but I doubt it would ever work. But I was thinking about that, but Matt's got his final say or his suggestions.
Well, did Maverick say? Yeah, he said he was going to ban Leopard. Who is he going to restrict?
Let's restrict Thanos. Honestly, restricting someone is a lot harder to say who than banning someone. Because restricting someone, in my mind, you can't restrict someone that is like mediocre. You know? Like if you said restrict just giving an example, right? You were state, I'm gonna restrict DJ Doom, right? Okay, now you just said that he's on the ban list. It's not. He's not really restricted. He's banned because you're never gonna pick him over every other character that's on that restricted list, or majority of them. I shouldn't say every other one, because it feels like some characters that are on the restricted list are just like, just say they're banned. Like I'm never gonna touch this guy because he's not better than a Porter. He's not better than a Carnage Surfer. He's not better than Prime Spidey. Or and for the hell of it, you could probably say that certain characters aren't even better than Cloak of Levitation. So I think restricting is a lot more different, and I think the only character that fits that right now is Spot. I think Spot fits the restricted. I don't think he should be banned. I mean, he's insanely good, but I think compared to Black Leopard, I think he's better to be restricted than he is to be banned. And yeah, that's who I think should be restricted, because I'm not going to say someone that I'm not going to say like King Jefferson. Like no one's going to play him then, or, even think about it. So I think Spot is that person.
I think that's a pretty good answer. Yeah, because I agree. The restricted list, the way I see it, it's the only things that make sense to go on the restricted list are either support characters that are just too good, or they are characters that you kind of like you build your team around. It's like, oh, if you're like, hey, this is a Spot team. It's like, whereas the Black Leopard Spot team, that what Rick and Chef are using, that's what it is. It's like it's Black Leopard and it's Spot. But if you're like, hey, like, if Black Leopard and Spot were both on the restricted list, you're like, okay, you can only play one of them, and that's another way of also making that team not crazy oppressive, because the
Team would be Dookie.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, at that point, like the team would have to move out of its starting area, because you could be like, well, I'm not going to move up to you at all. I'll like I will take a 0-0 loss, rather than insta lose by moving up to you. And then they would be like, oh well, now I have to move up to you. Then you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you move up to me first, like, and then we can play. Um, but yeah, being able to have Spot is just like virtually infinite range, and you're like, oh, okay, well that's not very fun. But well, I mean, it's fun for somebody. But I think I was going back and forth. I think I agree. I was thinking that Mjolnir needed to be on a list, but I agree now with Maverick. If I say that Mjolnir needs to go on the restricted list, it's effectively banned. So I do think probably Black Leopard needs to be the one, because I also agree with Maverick in the sense that if you say, well, let's ban or restrict everything that makes Black Leopard good right now, those things are just going to reappear in future sets. Like, they're not, there's going to be another effect that prevents you from, making range attacks, basically. There's going to be another effect that gives characters the ability to see through characters. You know what I mean? Like, there's it's going to come out. So, I think the problem is Black Leopard. I think he's very. It's appropriate for him to put him on like the temporary ban list. For restricted, I actually was. This is so dumb. I was gonna say Kevin as well, because I was just so surprised that Kevin wasn't already on that list, because of how, like, everybody used double Scott Porter, and then they're on the list, right? They're on the restricted list, and then everybody used Kevin, and then Kevin didn't make the list. So I was like, what? So I didn't really get that, especially when Perdegaton got banned too. I'm like, it doesn't make sense why Kevin's not on this list.
This is going to be a funny podcast, recording. It's going to be really, really funny, because Rick and Chef's like, hey, fuck you guys. Talking about
No, I mean,
Black
but again,
Leopard. But it's like I'm sure they know that this guy's a problem. They have to be oblivious if they didn't know that. But I'm sure they know. But I just don't see them like. I think Aaron Morgan said it right. If he doesn't see results, he's not going to address it. So I'm kind of happy they played it, so they might address something, and that's what you want anyway. But if most places are doing only modern age, you're not going to see too much of Silver Age. So you can't really say, well, this is too busted, this and that. But I don't know. That's the other thing. That's my thing on that.
Yeah. So looking ahead to the near future. So the Champion Clicks Open, their IC regionals, which are let's see, they are allowed to be scheduled.
Are you allowed to speak with this? Because the Whiskers gods frowned upon early information, as you saw from the mass media.
What are they going to do?
Azrif will send the Whisked police against you, and lock your
boo-hoo.
account.
No. This is. I just asked them when we were able to host the events, and they said anywhere between February 19th through March 10th. So effectively 3 weeks.
Oh my god! 3 weeks before Champion Clicks, and then you got Adepticon, which I don't know, man. Adepticon feels like not Adepticon because Whiskers is not running it. Dude, they should just let you run it, or had I don't know something. This shit's fucking ridiculous. No price. There's normally right when we signed up for. I know it's kind of like cutting to match thing, but normally when we hear Adepticon, right? We all sign up to try to get in there and just sign up for them as many of the events as possible. Can't even do that now. Well, you could do it, but no one's doing it. I looked after like the event today. You didn't see shit, dude. I'm telling you, you had like 35 spots open for Modern. Silver Age has spots open. I'm like, yeah, this ain't. I'm not.
Open because no one has pricing on it yet. No one knows what the pricing is.
This shit, man. And yeah, you're gonna get full damage factory set. I'm saying that right now. But yeah, let's let Matt fucking
It's
get the details.
so it's going to at least be decent pricing, so it's not going to be like worthless stuff. But
Yeah, let's let Matt, because I know that's what people want to hear is the IC regionals, his details. So we'll let him just talk, and then we'll just appear for a hot minute.
No, but but I do want to say about Adepticon, because it was a last minute thing, by Degeneration Clicks, and with them, working with WizKids to put a prize kit together. Like I said, I don't expect it to be as abundant as previous years. I'm very surprised that WizKids just isn't doing anything. But I am more than happy to help in future years. For example, if Adepticon turns, if WizKids continues to not want to host HeroClix events at Adepticon, but we have a continued fan, or just player base desire for it, then I'm totally fine with it being a regular, just fan put together event every year. Similar to like Red, White, and Clicks, right? That's just, they're just doing that every year. You know what I mean? So, so I don't, but I don't anticipate this year being strictly better than last year, because with it being a last minute thing, I don't know. I would be surprised if there are any new or exclusive prizes for Adepticon this year. I think that there's, if I was a betting person, I would say that I think a lot of the prizes at Adepticon are going to be very similar to those at Champion Clicks Open. That's what I would guess.
Cool.
I would be very pleased if they were different, but we'll see. But as you mentioned,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What's up?
I said prove Matt wrong, please.
Oh, okay.
Don't let it be true.
They're
prove him
gonna
wrong.
prove, right? They're gonna prove that,
right? Yeah. No, but that's, that actually is a good point. Exactly. If I just say the prizing isn't going to be as good as previous years, prove me wrong. Like, that's because I would love to be wrong.
I don't know how you top that, dude. It was a factory set from the new set, and then you had chase boosters. I don't know how they're gonna top it, dude. And then you had the team sealed, which they don't have it no more. Then you got what the hell was it? The supercharged sealed
silver pulp.
Yeah, so you had the supercharged sealed with the LEs, right? Like the new LEs, right? I don't know how they're gonna top it, dude. I really don't know. Because
they are doing the duos format for the first time.
Yeah, but there's not
as a big event. This is the first.
Here's the thing, right? They announced pricing, but I know, granted, it's a last minute thing, but I don't know. It's just not looking good, dude. They got a couple months to sort it out, but the pricing isn't announced. You ain't gonna have a big turnout. And it's kind of upsetting because I did schedule the vacation for that, like that week off.
I don't know. I feel like you're, yeah, but you're jumping the gun a little bit. They did say please wait until after the weekend ends for them to get the pricing up.
Yeah, there's only 70 days until events are out.
Man, it's got to be now. If it's not now, I can't do it. No, I'm just messing with you. We'll see what happens. I hope it's good. That's all I can hope for.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, IC Regional, there's multiple participation prizes that they want to give out with this kit. The Champion Clicks Open is really trying to promote the pulp format. They don't have a official ban list, but they said that it is coming on behalf of them and WizKids, and it must be followed. But as I posted in another group chat with us, but as a lot of people know, it's already on Facebook that it's going to be Silver Age pulp, which is they mentioned specifically it's not silver format pulp, but it's just silver age pulp, which just means any pulp figures from Superior Foes of Spider-Man and newer are going to be allowed, minus the banned list and restricted list that's coming up. So, with that said, are there any characters? I know you were mentioning a couple before, but are there any characters that you,
baby.
Well, I would say, are there any characters that you hope that you get to play with the idea that, like, you don't don't say any banned, like, characters that should obviously be banned. Don't be like, I hope I can play, Perdegaton and Necron. It's
I
like,
will play Onslaught with Exodus, so you can't move within my thing unless it's just a move action. And then if you don't do that, you can't target me because you
This is why
can't
no one
target me
wants to
on
play with
2
Maverick.
5. I gotta love the broken 2x2s. But yeah, no, I think that there's a lot that needs to be banned. Every 2x2 banned. So I think that's the start. But as
even
figures that I want to enjoy to play, I think the only legal ones that are not going to be banned is like Voyager, so TK through walls. But even then, like, I'm hoping that 40-point Watcher isn't banned because he's technically pulp. So he's better than Voyager.
well, which Watcher are you talking about?
The starter set one for Disney Plus.
I don't. Uh,
Because they're
is
all
it?
considered commons. So
Yeah,
Well,
no,
but
they're
pulp is
playable.
not just common. Pulp is not just common. Pulp has to come from a booster set. So if you come from a starter set, which is a different product,
but I
then
think
that's not
there
pulp.
it also was something with the symbol because the symbol's the same, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I don't know if that's the same
I
symbol or not.
swear it's the same symbol. I swear.
If it is, then it is. But yeah, if not, whatever.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that it's the same symbol. Um, but yeah. Anyways, Orb should be banned. Spiderling is another one that I don't know if she's also a starter set. So, but she was playable with Orb before, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, then Watcher is also legal. So yeah. So hopefully Watcher, Orb, and Spiderling are not banned because those are the Wombo combo pieces. Um then you
Is
also
it?
have Falcon, you
That's what
know.
I was going to ask. Is anybody going to go buy a Falcon and a red Widow?
um if you're looking for a budget and to lose, you could always play the uncommon Doctor Strange if you just want to show up and play.
I feel like there's a lot better stuff than that.
Uncommon Wanda Maximoff, questionable. Um, Party Thor, my boy. I forgot about him. Oh, yeah,
This guy's just
Party
looking through
Thor.
Disney Plus. That's all he's doing.
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
because
I don't know why.
Disney Plus was goaded football, bro.
I mean, is it gonna be 300 points or 400 points? I mean,
I think
that's.
they said 300.
I mean, the only piece I'm really there's two pieces, right? It's the Superman from JLU, the one that's the futuristic one with the boom tube travel. That one has 3 stop clicks, and that motherfucker hits like a truck. When you quake, when you basically quake, you deal 4 damage instead of 2. So I feel like that guy is gonna be pretty damn good.
Is
But
WWE legal? Because they were legal for old pulp when they were modern.
That's going to have to be a question that is answered when the
Oh,
ban list comes out.
Do not tell me that we're gonna have to deal with WWETA. Ugh.
Like I said, they have to look into it, man. I mean, that's just the best way.
Molecule Man should be banned.
Yeah, because I mean, technically speaking, the WWE pieces are Silver Age because they're like some of them are on the Silver Age ban list, the Silver format ban list.
Oh yeah,
So
they're legal for silver, but they are technically they were pulp when pulp was first announced.
right, but
And
they're not. They didn't. But again, they didn't come in boosters, right?
Yeah, but I thought, but it was even with that ruling, there was like a caveat for them or something.
Yeah, but Maverick, they're not gonna use old shit, dude. Like they're not gonna just like, okay, let's bring
I
old
mean,
shit into this shit. They're gonna try to make the they're not gonna kill the format by doing stupid shit like that. They're trying to make the format playable.
Oh, not to even mention the entire Spider-Man and Venom Absolute Carnage set.
Yep, that is pretty wild.
The
Yep.
the set that almost no one has because it was underprinted. And
Yeah.
everything's extremely expensive. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad I
that's
have. Yeah, because like I have Ghost Spider. There's a lot of stuff in that set that I do have.
oh my god.
Well, I mean, I mostly buy the Spider-Man sets heavily. I mostly go into those than any other set. Like I
Tempo,
didn't. Yeah, Temple's a good one. Can't use super senses.
and then she also does the +3 speed, which is always nice.
So, but like I said, I'm looking forward to I think playing Agent Venom for the support. Support is free, and then the yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that Superman. I think that Superman's going to be good.
yeah, I'm mainly looking forward to the idea of pulp actually being a format that somebody cares about. Because whether or not pulp actually becomes a good format, I feel like that's just completely up to the individual's interpretation of like for example, um like right now I think Silver Age is a much more healthy format than Silver Age was like 3 years ago, but
Oh,
some people are
100%.
just never going to play Silver Age because they think that Silver Age is always going to be in the state that it was 3 years ago. So there's going to be people that are going to think that pulp is always solved instantly. And it's like, yeah, when pulp first came out, it was solved in like 2 weeks. And then it was solved, you know, since then for years and years and years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so.
Well, pulp has a
Uh,
bad reputation on it, but opening up Silver Age to it, I mean, if all the correct things are banned, slash if there's a restricted list, I think it works
right.
because
I
it's
would.
not this tiny little amount of characters to pick from. It's this massive variety, and I think that, like I said, if everything that is truly atrocious is banned or restricted, then it will be fixed.
Yeah, I think we just have to be aware that whatever restricted or banned list that comes out, hopefully in the next couple days, I don't know, from Champion Clicks, it's not going to be the final one. You know what I mean? So I think we just have to also keep that in mind of there's probably going to be a handful, if not multiple handfuls of game elements. Well, I say game elements, but in this case, pulp is just characters. So there's going to be probably a lot of characters that they, forget about, and they go, oh, actually, this thing, it breaks the format. It's too good.
I just think they do that before events start.
Yeah, I'm right. They're going to give us a list before we can even post this event. But my point is that the list that they come up with, I think it's just don't expect it to be like 100% perfect. There's never going to be any changes to it. I think I would say expect it to be something similar to when Silver Age first started making a ban list, where it was like, oh yeah, there's still like 5 or 6 things that just break the game, you know. And then I think hopefully is that as these IC regionals are going on, is that the banned and restricted list will be updated again before the Champion Clicks open in Florida.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but also I am surprised. I mean, man, this is not officially tied with WizKids, but I am surprised that they are not for Adepticon. I'm talking about now that they're with the 2v2 event, that they're not specifically going with double issue, just saying that it's a double issue format. I'm surprised that they're just so far just saying it's double issue in terms of the flow of the game, but there's currently no other real restrictions on team building. So I was surprised to see that. But we'll
There's
see if
share characters.
yeah,
As
but I
high.
mean, like I said, the double issue format again. While it's not it's not a finalized format, but then again, neither is what is a finalized format really. But
I know. Hey, Maverick, it's funny that we're talking about that, right, for Champion Clicks, but are you planning on going to any other events or no? Are you gonna go
What
to
do you
Champion
mean?
Clicks? Why I say you're gonna go with Champion Clicks or no?
I'm gonna try to go to Adepticon.
You scrub.
Dude, I ain't spending a shit ton of money to go to fucking Florida,
Why
dude.
not, dude? You could be with the Mickey. You could be the mouse.
Dude, first off, I don't think that there'll be time to go to Disneyland unless you go there for a whole week.
Yeah, why don't you just go? You ain't
And
doing it.
it's
What are you doing that's so important, dude? Hey, look, the bar could wait, bro. I'm just letting you know.
what am I doing? Let's see here. Saving my money, Miguel. And buying things that are truly make me happy than buying a HeroClix event that I get some shitty LEs at because they haven't made a lot of good LEs in a hot minute. The best thing is maps. That as sad as that is to say, the best thing that you could win right now is maps. Like ain't nobody playing Frosty Suit Batman, you know. Ain't nobody playing Orca.
I
Nobody
mean,
playing,
you
Stiltman.
you don't believe, man. You got to play the still man, dude. You got to believe.
Trying to play Stiltman. You even point out the worst one to play. I'd rather
Fuck.
play anything besides. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
got
think for me it's just not worth it. Like if I resold clicks, sure, because then I can recuperate some of the money. But I just don't sell clicks, so
yeah, after yeah, well, you know what? I was telling that to Matt. I think what the Silver Age has done for older hero clicks is retaining the value. And that's I think that's a good it's good and it's bad in a way where trying to find an old figure with for Silver Age, like it reward Silver Age rewards the players that have been playing the game long, right? That's the reward, right? So you play, the game for a hot minute, you have the older figures, so then it's like, okay, now you can use the old stuff. But
they
so
completely screw newer players.
yeah, and it's like it's kind of sad because you're trying to find stuff and your resources aren't that great, and then it's like most people don't even use the internet, so yeah, people just sitting with a collection collecting dust or whatever. But I still don't. I don't agree that Silver Age is a casual format. I still don't believe that. People believe that it is. I just don't see how that's possible. I think that's
If it's casual, then I should have access and the ability to buy any figure on it. And
like
you
if you're
can't.
looking
You
because if
don't
you're
have the
looking.
access to buy every figure. In Modern Age, you do. I could go to eBay. It don't matter what the price is. I could still find someone selling it. Going to Silver Age, it's like, good luck finding half the damn figures. And then once you do, like, I can only use it in Silver Age events. So caveat, like for money wise, it's like I'm spending $200 on this figure, $100 on it, right? I use it
Well,
for one event. When am I able to use it again? Well, you gotta wait till the next, silver event, which is gonna be in half a year. You know, compared to modern, where it's like I can just go to a
I
locals and
mean,
play
not
it.
half a year. I mean, the next event would be at Adepticon. Yeah, I get
I
what you're
mean, I'm just
saying.
saying as a general thing. Like I could go anywhere and play with my modern piece. I can't go anywhere and play with my silver piece. You know, and I think that's a problem with the sense of saying that it's a casual format. You just can't say that's casual in any way. You can't even say that it's good for a new player can't even play Silver Age unless they know someone, or they go and buy like I think is Kong even legal?
No,
Yeah, so it's like what are they supposed to play? They have to go find something of
that's
200
the other
points.
thing that I don't like. Right? You have all these iconics, and you're not. How do you like? It's, for example, if you tell someone like, "Yeah, Kong's a really good figure, but too bad you can't use him."
I think from the perspective of if you're thinking like I want a team that can win, the highest level, uh, in any given format. I think silver would have and well, what am I trying to say here? Say, give me the cheapest team that can win at the highest level. I think silver is probably cheaper, maybe by a smidge than
I don't think it's Midge. I mean, even on a even on a goddamn Magneto Iconics team, I still have what 150, another like $25, then another like I don't know how much Porter goes for anymore. Let's just say 50. Let's say $30, right? It's like everything on my team. If I combined it all, like the Remaker is Zero Ring. It's like I'm at like 200 to like 250. More or less, are probably around 250. Besides Magneto, I could buy a nice, good modern team for 200.
I mean, can you?
Yeah, you could get a spot for fairly cheap because he's not super expensive if you want to play spot. There's who else is there? Trying to think of names. Um, Kooky Cortez. Actually, you know what? Just bring up Past as a general. Past is super cheap. Caveman Wally West is pretty cheap. All the Kookies are cheap. The Daguetan is a little bit higher than quite a bit higher than your average rare, but not crazy. And there's decent cheap past characters like Prime Flash, fairly cheap. It's like past alone you could get around you could get a good team for like around 150 to 200. And then half those figures are still usable on a lot of other teams.
I don't think the teams that you're talking about often place very high. At least I haven't seen them, but I don't.
This is what happens when
Um,
you do drugs.
Yeah, you see, yeah, you know what? All I could say is HeroClix, no matter what you do, is going to be expensive. Like, you're looking at $100.
I don't like Silver Age trying to find specific pieces. That's the only thing I have a problem with Silver Age.
I think any format you play, it's expensive. And all I have to say is every other miniature game, at least your pieces stay around for a lot longer than HeroClix does. Like, sure, HeroClix are cheaper than any other miniature game. I can agree on that point. If you want to have just a good modern team, for that one-off buy, it's cheaper, but they lose playability faster than if you're playing a different miniature game. You know that's the thing that I hate about clicks right now is the fact that my team is only viable for like a couple of weeks. To like maybe 2 events, you could maybe squeeze a team out of being viable. Because I don't see the same team. Like I see maybe the majority figure the big guy. Whatever you were truly building around, but all the little support stuff, it all changes.
you know what's better
Or the
than winning an event with a team that costs surprisingly less than you expected?
I miss those days where
No,
that works.
you don't know. You don't know what's better than that.
Losing.
What? You know what's better than that? Not playing HeroClix.
No, what's better than that is enjoying a nut butter bar. Cliff Nut Butter Bar is the unofficial official sponsor of Hel Talk. And let me tell you, folks, if you haven't had a nut butter bar yet, you should. Everybody who we know that has had one has won a HeroClix event. If you haven't won a HeroClix event and you haven't had a nut butter bar before, now you know why. Get yourself into a store and get yourself a nut butter bar today.